Hello everyone. You probably think that you can only meet unusual people in the X-Men and other sci-fi movies, right? Then you're wrong. There are plenty of real superheroes on our planet. They amaze everyone with their superpowers. In today's video, we're going to talk about them. Let's get it on. Hasnain Muslimani. This girl from Lebanon, Hasnain Muslimani, was only 12 years old when her extraordinary ability was discovered. That day, she was at school, or according to other sources, at home, when she suddenly felt a foreign object in her eye. The girl's eyes were aching, so her mother immediately took her to the doctor. Dr. Ahmed Araji was reportedly able to remove 3 glass-like transparent crystals from Hasnain's eyes. However, he had no explanation for this strange phenomenon, so the family returned home. From that day onwards, though, Hasnain has been literally crying 7 to 8 crystal fragments every day. Luckily, she doesn't feel any pain though when it happens, because the crystals are wrapped in a gelatinous membrane. Once the crystals appear, they remain transparent for the first few seconds, but almost immediately they become white and as hard as glass. In addition, the crystals resemble diamonds, being sharp and solid enough to cut something. This amazing story quickly spread around the world, and Hasnain and her tears were nicknamed the Lebanese miracle. Unfortunately, the doctor could not provide any definitive explanation. Some suggest that Hasnain suffers from cystinosis, a disease associated with amino acid metabolism disorders. However, people believe that Hasnain's diamond tears are a real miracle and often visit her house to get one of the mysterious crystals. Frieda. Probably no one would willingly agree to be bitten by a snake. Well, unless it's in the name of science.
Oh, sorry, sir.
But Frieda is not just any person. He claims to have been bitten by snakes at least 100 times by a variety of species, including the famous black mamba.
2 bites, nice.
And this snake's bite causes death in less than 20 minutes. But Tim claims that his body already has a strong immunity, and all thanks to injections of diluted venom proteins. But why does he do it? Well, Tim himself claims it's all for a noble aim, to prove to the whole world that people can be immune to even the most dangerous snake venom. According to statistics provided by Tim himself, up to 125,000 people around the world die every year from snake bites. He wants to stop this, and that's why he's conducting experiments on himself. Although we can't really say that Tim's body doesn't react to all these dangerous bites at all. Sometimes he does experience some symptoms of allergies and even poisoning, but his well-trained body can easily cope with them. Ellis. Humans and wolves often seem to be completely incompatible. Seriously, these two species just can't live together. But not if Ellis comes into play. This English animal researcher is known for living among wolves and being part of a pack. Some people think that Sean's just a weirdo putting his life at risk. Others believe he's chasing adrenaline and cheap popularity. Still, others are convinced he is a fanatic devoted to science and a true researcher who deserves recognition. Sean himself seems to be completely indifferent to all of these judgments. He is just doing his job, and he's really devoted to it. In order to study the habits of these predatory animals, Sean gave up the amenities of modern life and moved in with a pack of wolves, becoming their leader for a while. The other wolves obeyed him and trusted him completely. When Sean, as their two-legged leader and the main breadwinner, brings a deer carcass, the hungry animals patiently wait until the man is satisfied, and only then they begin to eat. Like in any family of wolves. During the long months of living with the animals, Sean had to accept their rules and habits, as well as completely abandon the human language and learn to understand the howling of the wolves. And he succeeded. Ellis learned the wolf's language and began to imitate perfectly all the sounds that predators use to communicate with each other. In order to preserve the smell of his own body, which was already familiar to the pack, Sean even had to stop taking showers every day. He also slept on the ground, but the effort paid off. The Wolfman not only became a member of the pack, but also learned to understand them, having gathered priceless scientific data. Stanislava Monstevelena. Can you imagine a person eating sand? Actually, this is a rare yet real phenomenon. One of those amazing sand-eating people is Stanislava Monstevelena. The woman, who's already over 70 years old, claims she feels just fine. But a long time ago, doctors diagnosed her with a late-stage brain tumor. Stanislava was suffering from headaches, and she only had a year to live. But one day she was walking past a pile of river sand, and she suddenly felt the urge to chew it. Yeah, sounds like a strange desire, but eating sand somehow improved her condition, and soon she apparently got rid of the dangerous disease. Over time, Stanislava made a complete transition to a sand diet and felt absolutely healthy. Here's what she said about the flavor of this unusual meal. Each sand has its own taste. For example, some varieties of sand have no taste at all, and for example, brown sand is very sour like a lemon for an ordinary person. There is even sweet sand and bitter sand, but most often it has several tastes at once. But we should say that scientists are very skeptical about such mineral diets and don't advise to follow Stanislava's example. Chandray Arun. In India, in the state of West Bengal, lives a man named Chandray Arun. Local people have incredible respect for him, although Arun is not even that old. The thing is, he has a 30-centimeter tail. His neighbors are very religious. They believe that this is not an atavism, but a divine sign indicating Chandray is not a simple man, but an incarnation of a monkey god. And Arun doesn't want to argue with them. Instead, as proof, the guy is happy to demonstrate his tree climbing skills. Rumor has it that touching the sacred tail can help with many diseases and even bring you happiness. So not surprisingly, there are whole pilgrim flows to Chandray's house. The man himself asserts he could not live without his tail. When Arun was young, the doctors who examined him recognized his tail as a rare birth defect and suggested removing the unnecessary organ, but it didn't happen. The boy got very sick and the operation had to be cancelled. However, the divine glory does not help Chandray in his personal life. For a long time, he couldn't find a wife. About 20 women refused to marry him just because of his tail. Adrienne Lewis. Sometimes, Mother Nature gives people truly unique talents. So, this girl from Michigan named Adrienne Lewis turned out to have the longest tongue. This isn't some kind of metaphor though. Adrienne can really touch her nose, her chin, her elbow, and even her eye with it. We bet that you've just tried to repeat that, haven't you? Adrienne's tongue really shocks everyone who sees the girl for the first time, and when she suddenly shows that she can touch it to her elbow, get an exorcist now. As the girl states, her tongue is more than 10 centimeters long, most likely exceeding the length of the current world record holder from California. However, Adrienne is still in talks with the Guinness World Records. Lewis says she inherited her long tongue from her mother. When the girl was only 10 to 12 years old, the mother of the future record holder was the first to notice her daughter's tongue was unusually long. Adrienne would be the first in her family to make this feature her asset. Kantra. Attention, do not try this at home. This Thai chef's name is Chandray, and he got famous all over the world for his unique ability. Surprisingly, he can put his hands in boiling oil without getting burnt. Can discovered it by chance.
Ow!
I can. Ow! Oh, he can.
As usual, he was roasting meat on the streets of Thailand when a squirrel jumped onto a tree, knocking a mango right into a pan of boiling oil. The hot fat splashed all over the man's hands and face. Imagine how surprised Can was when, looking in the mirror, he didn't see anything, not even red blotches or blisters, no signs of burns at all, as if it were a cold water shower instead of a pot of boiling oil. Then Can started experimenting, pulling out fried chicken from the pan with his bare fingers, and people gathered around to see that. Of course, they had never seen anything like it. As a result, Can became famous and even got into the Guinness Book of Records, pulling out 20 pieces of chicken from the fat heated up to 480 degrees Celsius. But the most surprising thing is that the man has no idea how he resists the heat. It must be some kind of superpower. Sulokaya lightnin. Many people talk about how they want to feel more connected to nature, but some just do it. In the north of Finland, 30 kilometers south of the small town of Kuusamo, there is an old farm by the lake. The name of its owner is well known among locals and even around the world. The secret of Sulokaya lightnin's popularity is his approach to wild predatory animals, or rather his relationship with these animals, which really looks very unusual. Sulo explains that he's lived in the forest since childhood and has always liked to hang out with its inhabitants. Sulo wasn't even 10 years old when he first saw a bear. When the boy grew up, he turned his home into a shelter for predatory animals. It was almost by chance. Sulo was actually working on a study that resulted in people bringing him bears orphaned because of car accidents and hunting. The man took care of the animals and then returned them to the woods. If he couldn't take them back for some reason, the cubs stayed with Sulo.
Siinä on nyt kova paikka, että tunnistusta kumpi on kumpi.
Gradually, a true friendship arose between Sulo and the bears. He understands these wild predators so well that he goes by Bear Man. By the way, one of Sulo's pupils, a bear named Yuso, became world famous when he began to paint. The fluffy artist grabbed world attention when Sulo managed to sell 6 of his paintings. In addition, the bear starred in the movie Steam of Life and became a YouTube star. Psst, dude, are you looking for new technologies and great gadgets? Are your thoughts focused on the future? Do you love huge vehicles and can't imagine your life without robots around you? Then visit TechZone and you'll find all this and more. The link is in the description. You interested? Great.